Morbius. Morbid is probably what they should have called it. Columbia Pictures did this movie, and it was distributed by Sony. It's a Sony movie. It's the Sonyverse. And I for some reason, I separated it from that, and I was expecting a Marvel-esque movie. But this was, it was not. It kept bringing me back to Batman for some reason. Jay Leto played the Joker in Batman. We will not talk about that performance. Jay Leto plays a Batman, a vampire, in this show, Morbius. And they even do the thing where he's surrounded by the bats and he's got his arms up and he's loving it like Bruce did in the movie, Bruce Wayne. They even have the thing where he travels surrounded by the bats like the Batman movie. It gave me a lot of Batman vibes, but not in a good way. I don't know what they were doing exactly. I think the Sonyverse has got Spider-Man, right? They've got Spider-Man in the palm of their hands. They know they've got something good, but they're not exactly sure what to do with it. So they're taking some of his villains and making them heroes, I guess, anti-heroes, maybe. Venom, who starts out as a complete villain, is an anti-hero. Even though he's eating people to try to make it seem like he's a good guy. Morbius started out as a villain. He's biting people in the throats, man. He's a vampire, man. You know, vampire life sucks. So he's a vampire, man. And in this movie, they're like, he's like, oh no, I'm a vampire, but it's cool. I'm not gonna suck throats. I'm gonna be a good guy, yay. But my friend, my homie, who's got the exact same disease, we've grown up together. We've been best friends our entire life. He becomes a vampire too, and he's just an hell. And he wants to kill me for some reason. It didn't make any sense. First off, Michael Morbius meets this other guy who, he meets him when he's like 10, 9, 8, somewhere in that area. They meet in the hospital. Like the next day, they're telling Mike he's got to go. You know, you're going to go someplace else. And he's like, no, what about my friend? Dude, you just met that dude yesterday. And even as a little kid, you know, I was a little kid once. I remember it. I didn't say, hey, everybody I met today is my friend forever. And if I have to leave any of you, I'm going to cry about it. Nah, it didn't make any sense. And then when he was leaving, he's like, what about my friend that I met yesterday? What are you going to do about him? And I'm like, I guess what I'm saying is the writing was bad. They couldn't think of a good script. I mean, because seriously, he's a vampire. He's a bad guy that they're trying to twist into a good guy. So they're trying to get the audience to feel for him. But, I mean, they did it wrong. If you've ever seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, right, at the theater, you watch this movie, he's a bad guy. Gary Oldman is a vampire. He's a bad guy. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's biting people. He's killing people. But you kind of feel for him because you still, I mean, they showed his love being killed. They showed his love for another person. There was emotion in there. There was depth to that character. This one, there was no depth. He was shallow. His rival was shallow. He had a woman that was his equal, his partner, she wasn't his assistant. They just worked together. And, you know, as soon as he became a vampire, they were love interests. And I was like, wait, what just happened? You didn't dig this dude before. I mean, maybe she had a vampire fetish. I don't know. But he became a vampire and she was like, oh, I love you. I have no idea why Tyrese was in this movie. It didn't make any sense. He was a cop trying to catch Morbius. But if they would have written his part out of the show completely, it would not have changed anything. If they'd have taken the entire cop aspect out of this, it would not have taken anything from the movie. His presence didn't help. Not that he didn't try, because he was clearly trying to act his butt off. He was like, he was all grunting and in there, and giving people evil stares. He was giving it his all, but he didn't have anything to work with. You know, he's not an Oscar performing actor to begin with. He's a singer, but you know, he gave it an effort. He gave it an honest effort. He just, you know, I mean, if you're an incredible boxer and you're throwing punches in the air and not actually hitting anything, it looks like you're doing something, but you're not. So that's what was happening here. He was throwing punches. He was just slinging in the air because there was nothing to hit. So I have no idea why Tyrese was there. And his quirky sidekick was tossing out jokes. And after each joke, I expected, you know, the music to go ba-dum-bum, psh, because he was clearly looking for, you know, a pop from the audience. He was like, so he's a vampire? I'm going to bring some holy water. Ba-dum-bum, psh. And even Tyrese looked at him like, dude. So there were so, you know, in Moon Knight, they had so many moving parts, but they fit together well and it worked. In this movie, they threw a whole bunch of things in there. There were so many moving parts and it fell apart. I think it fell apart. Now, let me say this. I was going in expecting a Marvel level movie, but I got a very low-end Sony Spider-Man movie, very low-end. So it generally, it would have been an okay movie. But knowing what we now know about the superhero genre, this didn't cut it. This was not a good movie in comparison to other ones. Jared Leto was connected to 2 terrible movies and 2 terrible performances. I can't imagine that they're going to connect him to too many more superhero movies. In fact, they're hinting that there's going to be more Morbius at the end. Stay for the end. There's 2 Easter eggs. There's 2 end credits. There's a mid and an end credit, and they were okay. I mean, they hinted towards. Okay, I'm going to tell what they hinted towards. So for the next 30 seconds, there's going to be spoilers starting right now. They hinted that there's going to be a Sinister Six because during that whole Doctor Strange blipping everybody into different universes, Toombs, the Vulture, ends up in a jail cell there. And all the clips they showed, hey Doc, we need to get together. That stuff, that wasn't in the movie. Most of his clips weren't in the movie. It's brand new stuff. So I guess they reshot it. And it was okay. I mean, they hinted towards something. End of the spoiler. So I'm wondering, are they going to make a misstep when they do Kraven? Kraven is probably my favorite Spider-Man villain. Most people are going to say Green Goblin. Some people might even say Morbius or Will-O-the-Wisp or a few other people who are very interesting characters. But for me personally, I dug Kraven. Kraven was the Captain America / Black Panther / Tarzan / he's just a regular guy, right? Kind of a person that could fight with Spider-Man, and I just liked it. I liked the concept of a upper tier athlete being able to fight with a superhero. I was like, wow, he just used like a rock and just hit him in the head. You know, it was interesting. He defeated him once, too. He defeated the crap out of him. But I don't think they're going to do him proper justice. So I give this movie, Morbius, the Morbid, 5 bags of popcorn. Man, 5 bags of popcorn. 5. Because that's what I think about that. More importantly, what do you think about that? Now, you had a chance to see the video. Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.